Just can't get the audio to match up like I did before, like I used to. Welcome, everyone. Ding. Welcome to today's show. My name is Anthony Barocas, and I am here to talk to you about. Let's get rid of that. Today's show is all about Teradek Airmix. Well, not all about. I'll happily discuss anything that you want to throw a question into the comments, but today we're going to talk about Teradek Airmix because people often say, well, you're just mentioning stuff that you get paid to mention. Teradek orphaned Airmix a couple years ago, meaning they no longer support it. They no longer offer it as a product. It was the actual paid registration for Airmix has been disabled. They don't, and they released it into the iOS, iPad, and iPhone stores for free. So you can use it for free. And so they're not making any money from it. I'm not making any money from it. But today we're going to talk about it because it is still a legitimate solution for iOS-based multi-camera live switching production, with the caveats that there is no support. And if something doesn't work, nobody's going to fix it. But that is what we're going to talk about today, is streaming. And this is a solution for streaming that I think still has a lot of merit. I kind of wish Teradek still offered it as a legitimate product and supported it. And I think it could be a core piece of their entire professional ecosystem, but they see it differently. So that's why it's been orphaned. Anyway, welcome to the show. My name is Anthony Barocas. Wait, I have a key for that. Yay! And I am using, if you've seen my video, I'm using this tiny little $20 numeric keypad to bring on my title and take my title off. And then if you're interested, if you're watching on any other venue, Stream Technology on YouTube is where everything is. And my son's going to pop in while we're doing the show because it's a live show. And I don't have control of that. Also, let's see if I can, oh, there you go. I can have both of them up. And it's Stream Technology on Facebook. Let's see if I can face that one out and this one out. There we go. So with that up and running, if you're watching today's show, I always love to know where everyone is watching from because this is a worldwide show. I mean, it's live. I am here, you're here. It's like you're standing right here looking at all the stuff I have in front of me, and I will show it to you and we will talk about it. You can ask questions. What about this? What about that? Can you do this? Can you do that? That's what this show is for. But if it's not related to what we're talking about today, Airmix, feel free to throw a question in the comments anyway. Let's see. I want to go through our guest today. Monty Weaver is watching from Virginia. Either that or he's a veteran and he's watching from the Veterans Administration. Just poking fun. LA 12 live streams is in the Lake District of the UK. Good day. Hi, DJ Mike is happy streaming. Thank you. Appreciate the well wishes. Kirk Riley's in Dallas, Texas. Direct Catholique is in France. Andrew Opicho is in Kenya. Good to have you from Kenya. Thank you. And Rome, good old Rome is here. Have a good stream. If you haven't seen, I did an interview with Rome in the Conversations series. So explore the YouTube site because there's a whole channel just for conversations with other streamers like Rome. And you can learn a lot from other people as well. We don't talk about technology so much. We talk about streaming and the business and getting into things and what we've learned and tips and tricks. So the Conversation series is a very valuable series on the Stream Technology channel on YouTube. I am streaming to YouTube, Facebook on the StreamTek page. I am Twitch and LinkedIn and on X. Twitter. So you can comment on any of those and it will come into me. So thus far, Rome is on Facebook, but Everybody else is on YouTube. Nobody's on LinkedIn. Nobody's on Twitch. So, hey, if you have tips on how I can get a better audience on Twitch, let me know, because it's just not happening. Robert Linkroom says, from Belmont Shore, California, the Come As You Are district of Long Beach. And Monty on YouTube says hi to Rome on Facebook. So there we go. I just felt I would put that up so that way Rome could see it. So thank you all for being here. Let me clear that background. I am going to be talking about Teradek Live Air, and when it was a commercial product, Teradek Live Air offered several features that other iOS-based streaming solutions did not. And in this category of iOS-based solutions, there are Teradek Airmix, Switcher Studio is the big one, although they're now dropping the studio part. They just want to be called Switcher, which is very vague. I think Switcher Studio is a better title, because it is a studio. And they also have online services as well. There is Cinemaker, is a multi-camera live switch tool, also runs on Mac as well. So there's an advantage that it runs on iOS and Mac. And wait, there's one more, Top Director. And Top Director, I did an interview at NAB on the YouTube channel, spoke with the manufacturer. He gave us a brief tour over the whole thing and his new control surface for Top Director. And the Top Director will handle multiple streams of NDI. If you're not familiar with what NDI is, go to the YouTube page, because I have several videos all about what NDI is on the YouTube channel. NDI is basically taking video through a little converter box, like a little converter box, and then putting it on the local area network, and then it's available to any devices and multiple devices. I can see it on this device and that device and that device, and NDI makes that possible. Try TikTok, says Aaron. I'm not on TikTok, but yeah, maybe that might be worth it. Although TikTok is vertical, and I'm not on Insta right now either, because the Insta was giving me troubles. So I just sort of opted out of Insta, but we could try that again as well. But thank you for that. And we also have Jason San Uxison from San Diego. Hello. And Ken Taylor from Maryland is checking in. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate you tuning in for the show. Today, I am actually going to quit out of this first, just so we can bring this up properly. And go to my side-by-side 4.3 and go to this. So there's my iPad. And that little icon down there, it's just updating stuff on a whim. Look at that. I got little networking. I got all kinds of things just updating because they want to. I have a video coming out about that. I filmed it last night, and it'll be out tomorrow. All about don't let your device do that. It just gets me. So that little orange icon down the bottom there, actually, let me do me over. This little orange icon right here, this is Airmix. So the orange color and the little stacked layers, that's Airmix. Again, this is just freaking me out. It's just doing stuff that I didn't ask it to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch Airmix, and it'll probably come up sideways. Oh no, I can't be correct. Yay, Airmix. And Airmix opens up like this. It's going through the different shots, image, video, audio, output. So across the top, you've got preview and program. Down here, you've got your shots. This shot right here is a composite. So you're doing multiple layers and you put them together, and that's a shot. If you want to have images, I have different images. They can be graphics. They could be a full screen thing. Video, you can see here's my iOS camera that's built into the iPad. It's right down here. So I have the little iPad. Actually, let me go to my overhead. So this is the iPad. It's sitting right here, and you can see this is the little camera that's in the iPad, and then I've got a video file, and we'll add other stuff as we go. And then next up, let's go back to here. Next up, we have the audio. So you can see there's an audio mixer built in. And lastly, there's your output settings. So I could stream to the StreamTek channel, and then I could also mirror this to another device. I can record it. So that's essentially a general overview. Multi-camera, live switch, recording, streaming, video mixer or video multi-view shots that you build, audio mixer. That's the core of it. But it actually gets a lot deeper than that, and that's what we're going to get into. I have a second camera set up right here running the app, and let me go to my overhead for that and go here. So I have a phone. Gonna wake this up. Oh, just gonna want my super secret code. And over here, I have Airmix Remote is for your camera, and Airmix Solo is a different version of this that was always free. It was limited, but it was still pretty cool. So that you could do multi-camera live switching in Solo when the full app was a paid app, but Solo was free and kind of get you into the ecosystem. But Solo itself could do 2 sources, overlays, graphics, record, and stream. Sometimes that's all you really need. So maybe the fact that Solo existed made the full app not less appealing, but people were fine just staying with Solo. And that's why the app was not as profitable as it could have been. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm on the right network. I am not. So I'm going to put myself on the network here with this. It's my Frisco Studios network. See if that works. So this works on a local area network. If you just want to record, you can have a Wi-Fi access point and no internet. And as long as your cameras can be seen by the switcher, you're good to go. And then you can do multi-camera live switch recorded and then just upload it later. So it looks like I'm good. I'll step out of that and I'll go into remote. And then here you go. You can see on the remote, I've got my focus and aperture. I can enable stabilization, single lens, dual lens. So it's changing different cameras. I'm changing which camera I use. I really don't want to use the wide lens, the super wide. Let's go with the normal lens because this camera has 2 lenses. So I'm able to change between lenses. It gives you the status up here as well as your deep settings. Over here, you can adjust your white balance, your exposure, auto or manual. You can adjust the ISO, your focus, auto or manual, your zoom. Well, I was pinch to zooming the other day. And then down here, you could flip the camera, look at the reverse camera, turn your camera off, turn your microphone off, turn the light on, and then you can also record on the device itself so that if you want to, if you're in an area where the Wi-Fi is kind of difficult to maintain, you can always have the clean recording in the device to go back to, just pull it off of the camera after the fact. So that's a quick tour. You can see the audio bar going up over here, blah, 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 blah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my video. You can see I got my iOS camera here. I'm going to add a new source. And then I'm going to go to a Teradek device. We'll get to that in a second. I'm going to click on that, and you can see I got 2 of them. My SE1, which is over there, we'll get to that, and my iPhone. So I'm going to click on iPhone. I say done. Do you want to prioritize video or audio? Right now we're just going to do video because I would assume that you're going to have audio coming into your iPad as a dedicated source. You can get audio from every single one of your cameras with this, which is a very cool feature that some of the other tools don't have. Like Switcher Studio being a fantastic multi-camera solution actually does not pull audio from the cameras, doesn't do it. So if you want to go to a camera on the sideline and get a little interview, you have to also bring wireless audio separate from that. You can't actually get it from the camera, but with this one you can. This has gone into a low power mode here, so it's not actively drawing the video that's on the screen, but it's over here. So if I move my camera back and forth, you can see that's live. And if I spin it around and look at me, there I am. And one thing you're going to notice right away is there's a delay. As we've talked about with any solution that needs to compress the video, send it across the network, and then decompress it, including NDI, there's a delay. It's not real time because these are not wired. There's no wires on this. So it's going to be delayed. And again, remember, we are live. If you have any questions, throw them in. I see the questions right here on my screen. So I will check occasionally. If you have any questions, throw them in. So here we are. This is live. This is my camera. I can hold it further away. I can swing it around. And there we go. So this is one of my live cameras. I am just going to put this on the table here looking up at me. Hello, camera. It's a slightly different view than the built-in camera on my iPad. Two different cameras. All right, but you can see they are also not in time with each other. That would normally be a problem if it weren't for the fact that you can adjust the timing for every single one of your inputs in Live Air. If I go to the actual output of this, I can click on, like the iOS camera is faster. If I click on hold the phone, you'll see up at the top right here, it says 500 milliseconds. I can dial that down. I can dial that down to like 200 milliseconds, apply, and it's going to retime the camera. And then now I can look at this, getting closer. And then I can take the iOS camera because it's actually in the device. It's actually really fast. I can delay this. So the most delay I can add is 166 milliseconds. We're going to say done. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to see if I can dial this down to 165. Apply. It's probably going to take a moment to retime. Nope, still faster. See if I can get lower. Ooh, let's take it down to 99 milliseconds. Apply. Wait for it to resync. Look at that. So different cameras traveling through different connections are now timed together. And then of course the audio, you can also time the audio as well. You can see here's the audio from my iPhone, and here's the audio from my iOS camera, and I've got a video file. The video file has no audio and it's not playing either. Let's go back to my video shots. So you can see I've got these two shots here. Let me go into this again and let's do a walk around here. On the left, it tells you there's my phone, there's the serial number, the IP address. I can pause the stream, restart, I can reconnect. Down the bottom, there's a magnifying glass and a bunch of sliders. You click on the sliders. Now I can come in here, I can do a chroma key on this, which I'm not going to. You know what, let's do that. Cancel this, let me bring it up on my preview. Select it again, go into my gear, select the chroma key, use the little tool there you go, boom. Now that's gone. Because I was able to use the eyedropper to select the background behind me. And I could use the slider here and see, make it how sharp I want to, done. So now I've got a chroma key. I'm going to turn that off. I can adjust the shadows, the midtones, and the highlights. In many of the other apps, people are saying, oh, you know, while I'm shooting log in my camera and it spits log out the HDMI, can I fix that in the iPad, you know, in the switching app? Most of them, the answer is no. This one, you could literally develop something and then save it down here at the bottom in your presets and have it available. Let's make this a little bigger. Have that available so that you can use it. So I got my shadows, my midtones, my highlights. I can adjust the tint and the gain. And then there's a few extras, which I always liked. You can shift the hue. You can distort the lens. Now, before every iPhone camera had 3 lenses on it, you had 1 lens. So if you wanted to have telephoto, you would put on a 2x lens. If you wanted to have a wide angle, you would put on a wide angle lens. And usually they weren't perfect. It'd be a little distorted and the top would be a little bowed or like this or whatever. And this was the only app that lets you fix the distortion of the lens right here. And then you could even dial in a little sharpness so that if adding that extra lens made it a little soft, you could sit here and just tweak that up just a little bit and put a little bit of snap back in your picture. These are features that you're not going to find in the other iOS solutions. And then you can save it as one of your presets down the bottom. Done. And that's available. You know, I can come over here on my iOS camera. I can go into here, and on the iOS camera, I got the same chroma key, shadows, midtones, highlights, tint, extras for each of those. Cancel. The video file, not so much. You don't, oh, actually, yeah, you can do all those things. I didn't think you would be able to cancel. I never thought to actually try that before. Let's go back into here. You can also trim your video file. So if it's a little long or you want to start at a certain point, you can bring that in point in. You can turn on the audio volume, always on or on if live. Here it has its own dedicated volume right here. Video completion, when it's done, do you want it to stop? Do you want it to loop? Or do you want it to transition to something else? And lastly, video detection, do you want it video deselection? When you leave the video, do you want it to just pause where it was? Or do you want it to jump back to the beginning? Like if it's a commercial and you leave the commercial, you want it to jump back to the beginning. So the next time you go to it, it just starts playing again, or a countdown or something like that. For if you're talking about a movie or something like that, you're doing like a little movie discussion, you just want it to pause. You don't want it to start back over at the beginning every time you cut away from the movie for a little bit of talkie. So those are some of the video selections there. Off to the right, let me do this. Off to the right here, you can cut and you can transition, which I have set to cross dissolve. These are both available all the time, which is, again, not a feature that's available in most things. So right now, I can put myself over here and I can say cut to me. I can put the video over there. I can cut, I can cut, I can cut, or I can say transition. So it'll dissolve. And I can do this at any time between any two sources. Transition, and then put me over here. I can transition between the two cameras. And that way, the iOS camera inside, for whatever reason, has decided to take a break. Down here at the bottom, or down here, you can decide how fast you want that transition. Then when going to a video, you can cross this off. When going to an image, you can set a particular length, so you don't even have to think of it. Whenever I go to a video, do a cross dissolve. It's just built in at this point. Then down at the bottom, you can have it just push or swap. That's the key thing, because if you're doing a discussion and you're going back and forth between cameras, this way I could just keep doing cut, and it's always going to put that other source that's going to swap them back and forth. So if I'm doing a discussion between a moderator and a panelist, moderator, panelist, moderator, panelist, and they're going back and forth, I don't want to have to keep putting it back over here into the preview. I just want them to swap, and I just keep hitting cut, 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 super easy. And then lastly, you can turn off the preview if you want and just turn output on, so that this way when I select them, I'm literally just cutting with my finger down here. Oh, I'm in front of it. Let me go to my side by side. Let's do this one. Overhead. So this way I can just cut like this without, when I don't have the preview, this is disabled. I can just tap, 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 tap. Yeah, I don't know why that decided to not do anything. Delete. Add a new source. iOS camera. Let's open that one. Let's see. Front. Hello. Why is it upside down? I don't know. Done. And if that is created, that will take us to, let me go back to my preview. Put me here, cut, put this in preview. So you can click on an item that is not working the way you think it should. You click on the magnifying glass, and now I can rotate this all the way around 180 degrees. And I can save it there. Oh, did it not save, or did it think I, do that? Done. Cut here, cut here, cut here, cut here, cut here, cut here. So that's available. And that is in the magnifying glass. You're able to come in here, and let me take you to directly. You're able to come in here. You can change the width, the scale. You can make this smaller. You can move it around. You can adjust the rotation. You can adjust the opacity. And that is a whole lot of adjustments available, done, for any of your inputs. And that is pretty unusual that everything is just so freely customizable. And that's for the video inputs. Let's see, I wanted to add this other camera up here, so we're going to add a video source. When we add a video source, you can see right here it says remove camera. Well, that's the built-in iOS camera. So when I removed it, that was available for me to click. Video files, you can click on video files. Here's some video files that are on the SD card. Let's add that one right here. We're going to say done. Add a new source. We're going to add a Teradek device. I already added this one iPhone. I'm going to add the SE one. Done. We're going to prioritize video. Give it a second. And there it is. So this is the one that's up here. And you can see it is not in time with the others. So we can click on that like we did the other one and bring that delay way down. Apply. Let's see how we did. Better. We're going to add a new source. You can add core devices. Core is a service provided by Teradek that is a cloud streaming solution. What this means is anything that you have traveling through Core is going to be available as a source into here. So you can pull sources down from other cities, anywhere else in the world. You can pull them down into your app. And back in the day, I did a video on this where I had someone else in another city pushing into my Core, and then I was able to pull that as a camera source right into my app. Very cool. Next, you got audio files. I don't think I have any audio files on here. Don't know. And then you've got a custom stream. Did you need to RTMP pull something like a GoPro? And then down to the bottom, there's even an instant replay. I'm just going to be honest, I don't do a lot of sports, so I'm not going to be able to speak about instant replay because it's not something that I use. But there's instant replay available right at the bottom here in this app that's free. Gonna cancel this. Now, if you start adding these things up over here and it gets a little busy, you can click on this. You can see there's auto sync live video. There's your video size, so I can make these small, and now I can fit more on the screen. Video layers. Do you want to do auto frame things? Do you want to do custom frames? And your video selection single or multiple. So I was selecting one thing at a time, but if you wanted to bring in a bunch of stills, you could come over here and say multiple, and then just say this. So I'm going to say single and leave that. So this way I'm able to single, and select from my different sources. Images, like I said, I can bring over an overlay and then make my transition. There it is with the overlay, and then transition back. I can bring this up and bring it in and then bring it out. So you can do lower thirds. They're not animated and there's not a whole lot of them. But one of the cool things is if you look at that title overlay, there's arrows at the bottom. So you can take one title overlay and put a bunch of different names in it. And then just right here, tap between the different names. I think I've only got two. Yeah, I've only got two programmed in there. But as opposed to having a dozen different things, I only have one title overlay for my conference, and I know, preset title is number 2 and Airmix is number 1. And then I can have 5 different people, 10 different people all embedded in that. Click and hold, and that will take you to, you can see title 1, preset title, add a new title, add a new title. Here's your subtitle, here's your title, here's the styles. So you can dig into this a little bit, your overlays, how opaque it is, rotation 3, 2, 1. You can go through those. Done. Add a new image overlay. So you can add an image, custom text, a scoreboard. I know people love scoreboards. So here's your scoreboard. Now, there's layout. No, that's not it. Trying to see if there is templates. Soccer, hockey, basketball, volleyball, tennis, ping pong, American football, Australian football, rugby, and classic. So there is quite a bit. Let's go to, there's no baseball. Basketball, hockey, tint, gradient, dark, color, wide, stacked. So you can, obviously you're not going to want a graphic to be the whole size. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that and you're going to shrink it and you're going to put it in the corner like this. Ta-da! Done. So now I've got a sports graphic. And that is just one of the many features built into this app. A couple questions coming in. What is the name of the app watching from the UK? This is Teradek Airmix. That is the feature of today's show. Interesting. Take that off. Today we are talking about Teradek Airmix. It is a free app on iOS and runs on iPad and iPhone. I'm using the full Airmix. I am not using the Airmix Solo, which is a lighter version, which can do 2 cameras, 2 sources, and a bunch of different things. This is the full version, which used to be a paid app. This is now orphaned, but instead of Teradek just removing it and saying we're not, it's not going to be available anymore, they took the paid part of it out and released it and updated it on iOS in the Apple Store so that anybody can download it, but there is no support. To help with that, I will make a little jump over to here. To help with that, I have taken the opportunity to create the Teradek Airmix group unofficial. And this is a private group that I created for Teradek Airmix. So for all those people watching today and watching this video later, you can join the Teradek Airmix group and help each other because there is no official support for this orphaned app. However, a bunch of us working together can answer each other's questions, play with the app, learn, use, enjoy, and when you find something that doesn't work, someone else may have already found a way around it. Unfortunately, there's only one person in it so far. That's me. But I welcome everyone who is interested in the Airmix app to join the Teradek Airmix group unofficial. I asked them, I was working with them, Teradek, when this was a paid app. I said, listen, can we just leave the Airmix group available so that all the people who are already users and, using this app and already in this community can still communicate. But they had an official group that they have closed because they did not want people thinking that there was still official support for it. So I just wanted to make it clear, this is an unofficial group. This is not, there is no Teradek support on this app. However, I find it very magnanimous of Teradek to make the app unpaid. There's no paid restriction, and they re-released it into the iOS store. App comes in. Can I stream the wireless iPhone signal to an Apple TV and then output from HDMI to an ATEM? No, because the iPhone signal is designed, it's in a special Airmix codec. Probably not a special codec, but it's designed to work with Airmix. You can, however, take the output of Airmix, take the output of this app, and then go from this to an Apple TV. Like I'm outputting this whole screen, I can instead go into the gear icon, not that gear icon, go away. I can go into, where am I set? Settings. It's right under the gear icon. And then where it says output, right here, AirPlay HDMI output, I can click on that, and right now I'm mirroring my whole production screen, but I can instead just send the program, done, and now all that's going to come out, or should come out, is, I should not see the whole thing. There we go. Boy, it took a while. My iPad is a little old, but this is my iPad output, and I can switch things on here. I can do transitions. I guess I should show the whole side by side. There we go. So because it's 16 by 9. Now the video is 16 by 9, but the iPad is 4 by 3. So I've got 2 different presets. So this is my program coming out of the Airmix. And if I transition again, this is my little iPhone. So this is the iPhone right here that is going into my Airmix. So you have to go through the Airmix app to be able to output it to AirPlay. But I'm doing it on a wire, but it would definitely work through AirPlay. The only caveat though is coming out on a wire to your ATEM is going to be faster because you're not compressing it and then decompressing it to send it across the network. That's just a delay every single time. Secondly, it's more reliable. So I'm coming out a wire out of my iPad. If I go to the overhead, you'll see over here, I've got my lightning adapter, and yes, it's actually a lightning iPad, which is why it's probably slow. And then I've got HDMI and power over here. So that is how we are seeing the show. And if I go back to the output of this, you can see this is the iPad, and then I can, like I said, I can do transitions. I can change the transition. That's a cross dissolve. If I want to do a zoom dissolve, ready? Zoom dissolve. If I want to do a rotate zoom dissolve. Well, okay. Yeah, you're not going to want to do that for the whole show because you will get people nauseous. But that's why I just say cross dissolve. Ready? There we go. Nice cross dissolve or cut. So that is what you can do in the iPad and then send that out through the HDMI out, which I'm going to switch back to, done, the actual screen, and then I'll switch to the 4x3 and we'll wait. There we go. There we go. The iPad finally switched the output. So now you're seeing what I'm seeing on the iPad as opposed to the program output, and you can switch in the settings of the actual app. Here's where you can set your broadcasting destinations. I've got my StreamTek page set up here. You can go into your encoder settings, what size, frame rate, data rate, keyframe, adaptive bit rate, blah, 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 all those things. Back out. Your record output, you know, what name do you want to give it? How much space do you have left? The AirPlay and HDMI, we just went through that. Your input, your decoder settings, hardware or software, iOS camera settings, auto, landscape left, landscape right, portrait, you know, project management. You can have different projects with different content. That is a key thing as well. Not every single one of these apps allows you to have projects. This thing, which again was orphaned years ago, allows me to have different projects. So I can do soccer and then baseball and then student board meeting and then talk show, or 5 different talk shows if I'm just using this in an office as my production tool. Come out, come down here, permissions, notifications, subscription management. I don't think there's going to be anything with that. Let's see where it goes. I'm curious because they took the subscriptions out. Yeah, there's no subscriptions anymore. And tutorials and the UI adjustments with the control panels, you can actually adjust how the screen looks, the brightness, and things like that. So it's a fairly comprehensive application in terms of things you can do. That answered that question that came in. So thank you for the question. I appreciate that. Another one of the key things when we're going to our video inputs, add a new source, core, audio files, custom stream. Teradek device. I clicked on Teradek device and it showed up as these 2 things. Now, one thing I had tested that is not working right now is that you're actually able to ingest Teradek hardware as well. I have these budget and long since discontinued tools called the Teradek clip. Let's go over here. This is the Teradek clip. And what it does is it brings in HDMI, which I don't have an HDMI in this one, micro HDMI, and puts it on the network. And then they even came out with, let's go to overhead. They even came out with a Teradek clip app that lets you adjust the settings on your clips. So what I'm going to try to do here is assess. That's what I thought they would be connecting to, but apparently not. And when I did the setup over the weekend, I had this one up and running. But right now it says it's not connected, and I don't know why. Because it should be on the network, but it's not finding it. So let me change networks here. But you can take your HDMI out and run it in. Now again, the clip was the bare bones version, the very budget, the tiny little clip thing. This capability was also available in every live view model, and those are much more powerful, those are much more resilient, and much more capable. Those are also more expensive. So if you find yourself with a live view, not a live view, video. Yes, Teradek's solution was a video, VIDIU. The video allows you to switch between normal streaming and Airmix mode. It may also be called live to air, which is what Airmix was called before it was called Airmix. And what that would let you do is use any of those encoders, which you can find secondhand on eBay for pretty cost effective in terms of a wireless encoder. And that would let you encode cameras and put them onto either a wired network or a wireless network. These are all Wi-Fi only. And they have a series of little LED lights on here. Like this one is showing me all of the lights, which doesn't make any sense. And I had to print out a special cheat sheet, which you can't see. I had to print out a special cheat sheet so that if this one's red, it means this. If it's blue, it means that. If the client means red or blue, if the access point is red or yellow or blue, so that I understand what's going on with these different encoders. And see if it's coming up yet. Teradek device. Oh, still not there. Image. So those are my images. The next thing I wanted to talk about is, let me go directly here and go to a 4.3, is shots. Over here is shots. So this collection on the left here is a shot. If I wanted to do this shot, which is me over the video background, do a transition, it'll automatically play the video background and have everything there. To create a shot, you come over here with video. Let's just say I wanted to put my SE, this one, green screen over the video file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enable multiple selections. Now I'm going to work in the preview. I'm going to tap this. I'm going to untap that. And over top of that, I'm going to put this. Oh, no, wrong order. So, doesn't matter. I can fix that. I'm going to take the SE1. I don't know why you're putting that over top. Do this. No. Let's see how much I use this. Play. So that's playing. There we go. Now my SE is over top, but I want the SE to have green screen. So we're going to come in here, go to my layers. I'm going to do the chroma key. I'm going to turn the chroma key on, select the source. There I go. And then I'm going to come up here, select the SE, and I'm going to go to the magnifying glass, make it larger, put it in the middle, and then save that. Done. Done. And now in my shots, I have shot 3 so that I can do a transition. And here I am talking to you live. Oh, I need to be talking over here. Talking to you live because I'm talking to the little SE camera right now. And here I am in the studio, and this is what I'm talking about. Just like that, I have a green screen source. And if I wanted to create another version of that shot, I can create one with overlays. So I could take that. You can see 10 different layers over there on the left where I can just keep adding stuff on top of this. And then you can just keep adding more shots to this as well. So, save shot. Come over here and cancel. What I want to do is I want to be on this one and add a title. Save. There you go. Now I've got the title, so I can go title on. And then you see how it swaps my input and output. Title out, title in, title out. And then if I wanted to have my logo on there as well, let's go back to my image, put my logo up, and then transition, and then actually put my logo up again. So this way my logo stays there, and I'm just fading in and out between the title. And again, if you look at this, I've got video playing in the background. I've got my keyed graph. I've got my keyed chroma key coming from a wireless camera, iPhone, and then I am laying over top of that 2 different graphics. One is created. This title is being created in Airmix, and then the stream logo over here that is loaded in and sized down and pushed into the corner from a graphic that I have created, and that's all being done in a lightning-based iPad, not an M1, not an M2, not an M3, not an M4. So you take any more recent iPad and it's going to be able to do a whole lot better than this iPad Pro 1. That's what I'm actually using. It's been that long since I've used iPad-based switchers. You can see the top of the top of the camera is right there. So I could tilt that up a little bit. No, yeah, tilt it up a little bit so that I'm not, there we go. Gotta bounce into it as hard. And that is a fantastic little app that can get a lot of people started in multi-camera live streaming with a couple old iPhones, an old iPad, Wi-Fi, and that's it. And there's no cost for the app. Now, you're not going to stream to a dozen different places, I don't think, from this one app. But if you just want to start a YouTube channel, if you just wanted to do stream to Facebook and have a little community chat thing on Facebook, you can utilize an app like this and produce content. You know, look at this. I've got 3 cameras going, one of them with green screen, 2 video clips, and you know, I could just keep adding things. I can add another video file. Let's do that one. Done. I can add another video file. Let's do that one. Done. So, well, okay, I still have the multi-layer selection. So let's do that. And let's take off the overlay. And then when I do the transition, there's my Aiba logo. Thank you for coming to the show. Here's the logo for the show. Yay. And you know what? I didn't select what happens when it comes to the end of the clip. Let's just see what happens. Because you can, again, remember, you can set it so that at the end of the video clip, it's going to transition to something, helping you automate the process. I guess it's on loop. Transition. And this, I think, is a great example of technology that is out there that people may not realize they can leverage to do simple productions using tools and hardware that they may have laying around in putting a couple cameras together. And again, remember, this is free. Comment came in. Please make sure you add power to the iPhones that you use as remote cameras. This will make quick work of an old cam's battery. Great point, Ken. Thank you very much for that. Yes, your old iPhones are not going to last very long. And when you're doing encoding and essentially streaming from the camera like this, it will use a lot of the camera's power. You know, I have this camera sitting here doing this live stream, and it goes into a low power mode by not actively showing what it's doing on the screen. If I tap it, it'll wake up. But it is going to utilize a lot of the capability, a lot of the power. You can hook up an external battery if you need it to be absolutely wireless, or like with this one, I just plugged it in, and that's why I was able to start this one before the show, and it's still going over an hour later. And that way, you're able to just have these things sit in here with a couple small adapters and just go. Just as simple as that. And then, like I said, if you have Wi-Fi issues, you can use the USB adapter, which also has power, and put them on an Ethernet network. So they're all wired and nothing is wireless. And you're going to have even more, better resiliency from any RF interference. Not going to be an issue because all of them are going to be on a wired network. And adapters for those things are all available. I feel bad that I wasn't able to get this thing working, even though it was working yesterday. Because this is a great way to demonstrate the fact that I can take a DSLR with HDMI, come into the clip, which is not, there's a reason why they discontinued the clip long before they discontinued the video, and take this, put it on Wi-Fi, and then bring it into here. I don't know why it's working. Maybe I'll come up with a follow-up video, explain why this is not working. But all the lights are on. It's just saying that the stream is not there. And I know the stream is not there because I can't see it when I try to load it. MD Abdur says, anything for Android? There are Android solutions. That was not the topic of today's show. One thing for Android is Mevo MultiCam, which does have a phone option if you pay for Pro. If you purchase their hardware, you can use the Mevo MultiCam, which does work on Android as well. I think Top Director, somebody else can correct me on that. I think Top Director is also available on Android, or it may just be iOS. But I did an article in Streaming Media Magazine. If you look for Streaming Media Magazine and my name and Airmix, Cinemaker, Top Director, Switcher Studio, if you Google those terms, you'll come up with an article. I wrote several articles years ago about how all these different iOS solutions are available. Panasonic even made one to work with their PTZ cameras called Live Control. And there is a plethora of tools for iOS, and it's because Apple makes it easy for the people who are programming these apps. And by that I mean, every phone has a different processor, and every model of phone can have a different sensor chip and a different lens and a different control and a different color. And if you write for Android, you're going to have to write for Samsung and Motorola and Huawei and Blue and Nothing, and there's like all these different companies, and it would be up to the programmer to try and figure out the specifics for every single camera on every single model of every single phone, and that's a lot of programming. Apple makes it easy. Apple says, no, don't worry about that. You just say, open camera. We'll handle the rest. So basically, in terms of programming, it's sort of like working with Legos. It makes it super easy. It's like kids. Hey, all I have to do is say, open camera. And Apple will take care of the rest, figuring out the camera and the sensor and the resolution and front or back. And Apple takes care of everything. And that's why you find all of these apps available for iOS, is because Apple has really made it easy for the programmers to write the code, because Apple's handling a lot of the workload, and you're only writing for one camera. You're only saying open Apple camera. You know, when you write for iOS, there's not a second manufacturer using the same operating system that has a different camera sensor that you would have to worry about. You basically say open camera. Whereas if you're writing, all the programmers for writing for Android would have to basically go phone by phone by phone, device by device by device, you know, sensor by sensor by sensor, and program in every single thing when you say open camera. So that's why you don't see, especially at this level where you can dial in and have such granular control of what's going on with the camera. Again, like I says, you're able to have all these different controls on the camera, including white balance of tint and temperature, exposure and ISO, focus, zoom control, and everything. Those are all controls that are built into the camera app. And as I wrap this up a little bit, I'm waking this one up, or maybe I'm not, that there is the, let's see if I have it on here. I'll close this out, come over here to streaming app. Airmix Remote is the camera. Airmix Solo is the simple app that allows you to come up. You're basically able to add one thing. So let me add a new source, Teradek device. I'm going to add my SE1. Done. 2, 3. Okay, so now I got my camera. And then I got my titles. There's my title. There's my corner bug. And then you can swipe this out. You can swipe that out. And this is just a very simple way of handling things. So I used to be able to get them both on. There you go. And you can swap between, you can cut between a couple sources on the left. Let me add a video file. Let's do that one, or my countdown. Done. So there's my video file. I can go between a video file and me. I've got my overlays for different things like that. And this one is just, the goal of this one is single screen, keep it simple. There's your audio down the bottom. And then at the top right, live and record. Super easy to do. And it's got a Facebook icon because I've already got the Facebook set up for it. And then if you go into your settings, you can set your broadcasting destinations. Like I said, I've already set it up for Facebook. Done. And this, and oh, there you go. There's the iOS cameras. Click on that. Just like the other app, you can, no, don't turn on the light. Here we go. Selfie camera. Here it comes. Done. So now I got two cameras. I got camera 1, I got camera 2, I got a video clip, camera 1, camera 2, I got graphics overlays, very simple graphics overlays. Again, these apps have been orphaned. They're not going to get updates. So if there's something that they don't do, you need to figure out your own workaround to make these things work for you. But given that they're free and they still work and they're freely available, that is an opportunity for users to get their fingers wet in multi-camera live switching without having to pay $50 a month for Switcher Studio or something like that, because that adds up real quick. Hey, can you develop a business? Can you, put together a couple cameras? Can you get the Wi-Fi working? Can you make this work for you? Hey, try it out with this. See if it works. And that way, you can work on the business part of it, the networking part of it, the device part of it. You can work on all those things. And then if this is working for you, there are several other applications that you can step up to that are still being supported and available that you can then migrate to, but they also have a cost. They are still supported. They have a cost. Vaughan says, oh, Ken says there's an Airmix remote app for Android. Yes, you can add an Android camera, but there's not an Airmix Studio app. I had this thing on charge all night. I don't know why it died on me. Yeah, it's dead. And Vaughan says, is this still being supported by Teradek? I opened the show saying that this is an orphaned app. Airmix is no longer supported. However, I have, click. I don't know why this thing, maybe this is not the best control surface, or maybe the battery just died completely. I will go here, no, here. And if we go to here, I have created an Airmix group on Facebook, unofficial, because Teradek is not involved in this. They had their own official group, which is now closed, and they staffed it. They answered questions and they supported the product when it was a paid product, because you have to pay for support. You have to pay for people to actually be there and work on it. It is no longer supported. It is, however, free. They went in on the last version, took out the paid requirement, re-released it to the iOS store, and said, we release it to the world. However, it's not supported. Teradek does not offer any tech support on this. However, I have created the Teradek Airmix group on Facebook so that anyone who is interested in trying this out, sharing ideas and thoughts and supporting each other, this is now available for you guys. So this is a group I created for Airmix. If you are new to StreamTek, I have a YouTube channel right here, StreamTechnology on YouTube, where you can find all different kinds of tutorials, instructional videos, technology explanations. There are also weekly live shows like this. So sign up, subscribe, click the little bell, do all those fun things. And you can learn a whole lot real quick by watching old videos. There's months of content up there, unlike other channels that have been around for years. This one's only been around for months. But I've been doing my best to fill it full of content. You can also follow on the StreamTechnology group, or the StreamTechnology page. There's also a group, but there's not a whole lot to discuss in the group, except it's free from being a group for any one particular group, for one particular company. It's so you can discuss all kinds of products and not be focused on any one particular product. It's all about StreamTechnology. Also, I write for Streaming Media Magazine. You can go to streamingmedia.com and then click on the producer part, and you'll see content from NAB and elsewhere. You can also sign up for the newsletters, email newsletters, and bulletins. So when new content comes out, it shows up in your email, and you don't have to remember to go check the website. It comes to you. Lastly, if you're looking to build a studio or you're looking for gear recommendations, things like that, I have a company called Stream for Us, stream4.us. There's a contact page right there. So if you're looking to get some production done, I can do that for you as well. And lastly, if you're looking to buy some gear, I have partnered with the Videoguys. There's a link in the descriptions of the videos. So you can come here, and if you're looking to buy a YOLO box or cameras or encoders or different things like that, I have a curated Videoguys StreamTek store there, and also links in the descriptions for different products. And talking about Airmix, there's no sponsorship. They did not pay me to do this. It is an orphaned product, so they make no money from it. I make no money from it. I just felt it would be valuable to viewers like you to see that this thing is out there and available. And like I said, I couldn't get my clips to work for today. I did get one clip to work, but it's not working today. So I would not count the Teradek clip as a reliable hardware encoder. However, the Vidiu, V-I-D-I-U, the Vidiu is a good piece of hardware, and it has been around for years. So let's just look on ebay.com. Let's look on eBay and see what we can find in terms of Teradek, Vidiu. They came out with several models through the years. Teradek Vidiu 4G streaming device, H.265 color, no AC adapter. So here's one for $45. A potential video encoder for your live streaming platform that will take HDMI in for $45. The one up top is $29.99 or best offer. So you can find some definite deals because they have been making these videos for many years. There's several different versions. And as far as I know, don't hold me to it, but as far as I know, all of them can be set to a live air or air mix mode so that they will appear as hardware encoders for your live streaming, the free live streaming application. Again, join the group on Facebook. Become part of the solution, and we can all learn from each other. The Airmix group on Facebook is where it's open to everyone, and we can all sort of jump in there and help each other out and enjoy the fruits of a free application. Yes, it is orphaned. Yes, there's no more tech support. Yes, it's not going to do everything. And if it doesn't do what you want it to do, it's not going to do it tomorrow. But hey, you never know. If we get enough people and a big enough audience, you know, Teradek may say, hey, this is a good audience. We might start supporting this app again. And then create a paid tier and come out with some new awesome features. Who knows? And I appreciate all of you being here for these shows. I appreciate you all being here every week and tuning in and watching these shows, whether you watch them live or whether you watch them on replay. And I hope today's show has been useful to you in your live streaming journey. As always, my name is Anthony Barocas for StreamTek. Thanks for watching.